Hello, my name is Dean Ziglich, and today I'll be talking a little bit about Dish Wireless and Boost Mobile's pricing strategy. To start, we want to review the highly competitive US telecommunication markets. We have major players like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, which each deploy distinct pricing strategies to attempt to retain and attract net new customers while maximizing that profitability. These strategies are shaped by each company's target market, brand positioning, and overall business objectives. Initially, we want to look at Verizon. Verizon typically adopts that premium pricing strategy, positioning itself as the leader in network quality, reliability, and coverage. So Verizon can charge these higher prices compared to its competitors. Their strategy is supposedly backed up by their extensive investment into 5G coverage and advanced technology. Verizon often justifies its higher prices by their quality of service metrics. However, recently today, the data shows the 5G speeds that customers get based on different networks doesn't differentiate themselves that much. T-Mobile, on the other hand, usually uses a value-based pricing strategy known for aggressive marketing and disruptive tactics to the other two. T-Mobile focuses on offering competitive pricing, flexible plans, and try to undercut Verizon and AT&T quite consistently. Some of their strategy includes no contract plans, unlimited data plans, bundled services, etc., and frequently introduces promotions such as discounted family plans or trade-in deals in order to attract customers of the other networks to T-Mobile. Both companies really engage in dynamic pricing, adjusting their prices often. You'll see that in the marketing landscape of telco pretty consistently. You may see Verizon come in at $50 and T-Mobile the next month come in at $45. So it's really understanding what those operational costs are, what those subscriber acquisition costs, and how low can they go to maintain affordability. So when it comes to Dish/Boost Mobile, we are a net new telco company, or at least net new infrastructure. A little history behind Boost Mobile is in 2019 it was purchased by Dish Wireless, and Dish has spent the last 4 years building a net new Open RAN 5G cloud-based network for the Boost Mobile brand to go and sell to its customers. So essentially, when discussing pricing from a Boost Mobile perspective, you have to think about your competition, your internal costs, and ultimately what it will take to acquire that subscriber, because you have to add that into the equation when setting your pricing. Specifically for Boost Mobile, the strategy today identifies customers who are looking for a high quality service, innovation based on our Open RAN 5G cloud-based network, and finally a cheaper price point. Today our prices sit at about $25 per month for unlimited talk, text, and data, which is pretty much under all of the big three. The only other wrinkle I'll add in there are also MVNOs, or mobile network virtual operators, that sit on the T-Mobiles or Verizon networks of the world. You can think of this as Mint Mobile. So there's a fine line of being an MVNO or virtual operator that doesn't actually own the infrastructure but sits on top, and their pricing being the $15, the $10 a month that usually don't come with unlimited, and then the premier pricing of the AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobiles that are at that $50 to $70 price range. Our strategy will be to sit somewhere in the middle. We want to add that premium service, that high quality availability coverage with a lower cost. So we're really looking to identify those consumers, usually younger consumers that are getting off of their parents' telephone plans they've been on for 25 years, and attracting them to the same quality service they're expecting at a lower price point. The second thing I want to talk about that is extremely important when it comes to Dish's pricing strategies is selling business to business. Specifically for a 5G network, this includes Internet of Things, factories specifically that need constant communication, or companies that may be potentially looking for backhaul support for their communications, or multiple vendors support to ensure that they never lose coverage. For Dish/Boost Mobile, this is extremely important part of the business, because that is how we need to differentiate ourselves from the AT&T Verizon business lines. We're ultimately looking to be the premier network for advanced 5G technologies, or things that require immediate communication, things such as AI models, factories that need constant communication in terms of, is this machine that is robotically controlled or potentially controlled by artificial intelligence consistently communicating with our databases to make sure it's doing the right thing, to make sure it's healthy, and to make sure it's not doing anything that is incorrect from an action perspective. So when we think about pricing from the Dish or Boost Mobile perspective, again, we may be able to throw out the subscriber acquisition costs that are associated with individual consumers that we're trying to take away from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, etc. However, we must understand what the requirements of these B2B services will be to properly price it. So essentially understanding the direct segment we're going to deal with, and how we want to position ourselves as that premier brand. It's important that we don't go too low on pricing or too high on pricing. We would expect at least 50 to 100% margins in most of our pricing, specifically on the B2B side, and a much lower margin on the consumer side, because we're focused on acquiring as many customers from our competitors as possible. It's important to understand businesses have those two segments when you're marketing, and specifically focusing different branding for each of those consumers. So for the consumer, at the customer individual perspective, Boost Mobile is going for that lower price point, higher quality branding, while on the industry B2B side, we are going for a higher price point potentially, but increased services that only 5G cloud-based technologies can add, like artificial intelligence, potentially dynamic controllers that sit in the cloud and shuffle through data, etc. So as we talk about Boost Mobile pricing, again, we wanted to focus on multiple branding and multiple strategic initiatives for our marketing department and our pricing. Thank you.